Battlefield 1 is a massive game with big single-player and multiplayer components. There's a lot going on in EA's latest big shooter, but for the uninitiated and those yet to experience the Battlefield series, there's a few things you need to know. So we've knocked together a list of 5 things that are worth knowing. Now, these aren't gameplay tips or even a list of features. Think of it more as a buyer's guide for the game. Here are the 5 things you need to know before you buy Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 is reviewing very well, 9s and 10s all over the place. It's a game that's landing with a wave of hype at its back, and after so many recent disappointments, Mafia 3, No Man's Sky, it's nice to see something, anything, living up to expectations. Battlefield 1 is a big, beefy gameplay package that feels like good value for money. Which is strange to say about an EA DICE game after the stick insect that was Star Wars Battlefront. The series staples of Russian conquest multiplayer modes are this time joined by what looks likely to be a new Battlefield favourite, Operations. It's a kind of mashup of Russian conquest and makes matches feel like real epic conflicts. The game has been polished to a shine and looks likely to be the big multiplayer shooter for the time being. Your move, COD.
Listen, this is proper war. Alright? None of your near-future modern warfare crap. This is proper guns, made out of wood. This is horses. This is swords. This is tanks that are so slow they basically don't move. The First World War was an enormous, tragic conflict that lasted 4 years. It was the dawn of modern war. And Battlefield 1 pays real respect and tribute to that. The overall presentation is a perfect reflection of the naive optimism of the time, while the campaign shines a light on some of the real horrors of the war. And the game is packed with era-appropriate weapons, vehicles, character models, settings, and art style. Oh, and there's a giant walking Iron Man suit as well. Which actually isn't as entirely historically inaccurate as you might think. Seriously, look it up.
Call of Duty has got its own audience, we know that. But some of us don't get enjoyment in the wild, gun-spraying, headless chicken arenas that you get in that series. Some of us like to strategize. We like to be part of a battle line. We like to feel like we're taking part in something bigger than ourselves. And that's what Battlefield 1 delivers. This game is about objectives, not gunning down noobs. Well, not all about gunning down noobs. It's got an epic sense of scale with up to 64 players duking out on massive maps with vehicles flying overhead and buildings that crumble like shortbread biscuits. You can legitimately top the leaderboard in a Battlefield game with a negative kill-death ratio. You get points for everything. Shoot a guy and didn't kill him? Have some points. Heal your mate? Have some points. Spot an enemy? Have some points. The game is designed to be about participation, not about how good your kill-death ratio is. It's all about being part of the struggle and feeling like you're part of the team.
FPS games are not really known for their single-player campaigns these days. Games like Titanfall and Star Wars Battlefront even left out a solo campaign entirely, as most gamers like to focus their time and attentions onto multiplayer when it comes to first-person shooters. But believe it or not, some of us actually do enjoy a good FPS campaign. So it's awesome to see EA and DICE put so much effort and focus into the single-player experience in Battlefield 1. The game features a highly cinematic campaign that takes gamers across the biggest theatres of war from the First World War. It's broken into a series of 6 separate vignettes known as war stories, which tell the stories of different characters in different conflicts at the time. It pays huge reverence to the war, following fictionalised scenarios that give a taste of what happened in that part of the world in that part of the war. And DICE have said they wanted to create more open-ended environments in the campaign, as opposed to the corridor shooting gallery style we've come to expect from FPS games like COD and the Battlefield series recently.
Hey, fighter pilots weren't the only brave souls taken to the skies of the Great War. Pigeons played their part too, and EA DICE have actually seen fit to immortalise their heroism in Battlefield 1. Honestly, You take control of one of these winged warbirds during one of the campaign missions to deliver a vital message to call for aid. It's actually a damn emotional moment in the campaign. They even play a part in multiplayer in the War Pigeons game mode. Here players must secure war pigeons and use them to call for an artillery strike. God bless your service, Sir Winged Rat.
So those are the top 5 things you need to know before you buy Battlefield 1. Let us know in the comments whether you're already enjoying the game or plan on picking it up. And stick around with Pretty Good Gaming for plenty more Battlefield 1 content over the next couple of weeks. See you around.